is going to lead to an increase in violence. I'm not saying that gaming, television, and so on is a total variable that contributes to it, but it contributes to enough increase that we can prevent that. And we'd also make a statement that violence is not acceptable in society, and that we are going to indeed deal with that. And we're going to deal with it here with this issue to start with.
Now, when Andres gave a statement, he gave an interesting point. It's a social outlet. Now, he takes out a little bit of his anger, frustration out in the game. A lot of us do. I mean, I tend to, like, when I play Call of Duty 4, it's because I'm mad. But I'm a very, like, after that, it's in a sense kind of like a relaxing experience, you know, like, basically, kids, you can argue that kids, if they play it, they'll be naturally violent. Well, they kind of get their anger and frustration out. I mean, that's why a lot of people, if we were to ban this game, like, there'd be some effects, some violent effects, but not, like, we'd collapse into, like, Civil War. Basically, like, people, like, wanting the game to get out, his side of mind's thing. And people, like, would look to it as a social outlet, way to get out their anger, frustration. Like, people turn to karate, turn to boxing, turn to sports, like, especially like football, to take out their aggression. It's a way that people that, like, don't feel they're very athletic can take it out. It's a way of, like, getting out their frustration and getting themselves, like, mentally and, like, physically clear. Hector.
Now you want to... Okay, let's see.
Hector.
What do you think the punishment should be for those who do buy the game if it is banned or are still playing it?
Well, Minnesota's passed a law, which is now may go before the Supreme Court, and that punishment was for basically for, you know, this game's rated M, which is mature, which is your 17 or under, you can't buy it, which they believe it was a $25 fine. But obviously, that is not going to be a deterrent. There's three issues here. One, manufacture. Two is the distribution. And three is the purchase. So the major punishment of it is prison terms would be production, distribution, and the lesser penalty would be for buying. I suspect jail terms. And the first two would be felony, and the second would be misdemeanor. That's what I would assume would be once that would be done. And that'd be fine as a punishment. Prison.
Well, if people go to prison for this, I mean, that, like, people, like, there's studies that show that people that have gone to prison have become more violent because of prison. People that have gone into prison for, like, not paying a traffic ticket or not paying, like, certain things, like, they become more naturally violent. Now, if we arrest people for playing a video game because they weren't violent, we send them to prison, they become more violent. It's more obvious. Well, another thing is, how can they institute a policy, basically, how will they control regulation of, like, if they ban this? Are they going to come into people's houses, take it out? They're going to monitor people, make sure they're not playing this game? I mean, you guys, our privacy is being restricted here. I thought we, like, because, like, the 14th Amendment, we have the rights of privacy. If you start taking this game out, coming in people's homes, like knocking on your door telling you not to play this, read more history, I mean, I just don't feel it's right. I mean, we have the rights of privacy, just like we have rights to any other thing.
Make a statement. Okay.
For which side?
Obviously him. He makes better responses.
Entertainment value.
Now, I'm a simple person. I understand this. Now, it is rated M for mature. So really, the kids that get involved with it, the impressionable young kids that get the game and play it and grow up with that, whose fault is that they're violent? Is it the kid's fault or is it the parents' fault? Now, what he's proposing is banning it. So what does the ban mean? Does the ban mean that we failed as a society to keep in check the parents that are raising their children, that we fail and then we just give up, so we were going to remove it, like drugs of some sort? Because obviously we can't control ourselves with drugs, so we can't control ourselves with video game. Now, it is in that retrospect that it should be the parents that should be monitoring their children, and not us and not the government that has to do the banning and everything like that. That is just a failure upon society that we have just given up on, just being a society revolved around the family, and now we're just a society revolved around electronics and stimulation left and right, from coffee to video game to whatever you want.
Your argument predicated on the assumption that all parents are responsible. And that will collapse right there. Now, there's another thing which I think is all missed on this. We haven't discussed what this game really is. This game is apparently a legal immigrant who comes in. And this guy has all kinds of weapons, has access to prostitutes, which they kill, and in some versions of them actually see them not exactly doing sex, but sex. They destroy cars. They destroy bystanders get killed. The graphics are absolutely spectacular, apparently. You see the blood, heads blowing off, and graphic detail. That's not playing games with a gun where you go bang, bang. That's totally different, and all the research shows that when you play act and so on. But when you actually are killing and so on, doing this game and committing, nothing that occurs in this game is legal.
For the losing side, I want to ask, since you said that the game is rated N for mature, so it's 18 and up. So, 17 and up. Aren't those people that buying it will be able to psychologically and make decisions that could be they could held responsible for? Like, for example, I'm just asking, like, since we are 18 years old right now to vote, we said we can make decisions for ourselves. Do you think this would the game would actually influence so much that we will make our decision that we will kill people like that?
Assume you've asked a question. Not made a statement. Okay. All right. It doesn't make the problem with the game is not whether my issue is not whether it's rated M. That's not the issue here. Or whether adults buy it, or with old people like me buy it, or whether your sister buys it. That doesn't make any difference with it. The point of this game is it has no point except to commit acts that you would be locked up for life if you committed these acts, or most of the time be executed for. That's all that you do with that, and you're supposed to do that and get some satisfaction from that. I have some real questions about the nature of a society or world that says that's what we should allow people to get their kicks from, and that is killing imaginary human beings, destroying property, raping women. It is very demeaning to women. Women have come out and said this is very demeaning. It should be abolished because it violates. Shut up. We don't do that. But go ahead and make your statement.
Okay. Okay, so basically, like you're saying, he said what the point of the game is that it's a Russian immigrant or Eastern European immigrant, illegal immigrant coming to the U.S. Well, basically, to say that is basically saying that we as a society, our fundamental beliefs are that immigrants are like bad. It's such a stereotype, like that you're saying that like it's basically like pointing out like a stereotype of like, I mean, we're all like able to realize like the stereotypes that we see. Basically, and every Eastern European I meet from now on, I'm not, because I played the game, I'm not gonna think he's gonna try to kill me for my money or try to like rape me in any sort of way. I mean, we're as a society, we're mature, we're individuals. We can differentiate the fact that there's a stereotype